comes the Bomb Squad. All 7 are about to be unleashed.
The best part of that game is that they actually put all 7 forwards on at one time.
Like for me, luckily I don't play against the Boks, but I would be so cock nervous to play against the fresh pack of forwards.
7 changes at one go. Big pressure on New Zealand scrum.
You can just see them, sort of retreat, and not physically, but mentally.
Snyman up to grab the line out. Powering their way forward and over. To the tail they go for Peter Steph Totoy. It's a variation. And over is Walker Smith.
Is it legal? Yes. Is it smart rugby for the World Cup? I've got to say, yeah. Is it good tactics? Yes. But it is not morally correct. This is not right for the game. It might be right for a test match. It might be right for them to try and beat Ireland. I'm not worried about the health of the Irish players. I am deeply, deeply concerned that at the lower levels of the game, this will be copied.
But it's got to the point now where, look, the South Africa and England are like great tax accountants. They find every loophole and they exploit it brilliantly. And I admire the intellect. I really admire the intellect. But that is not good for the global game, and it's not good for the other side of the games like France, New Zealand and Ireland.
Okay.
In the last World Cup, the Springboks announced the Bomb Squad. And this was really effective from a tactical point of view, but I believe more so from a psychological point of view. It got everyone talking about it. Everyone was saying in the media how you can't stop South Africa in the last 20, they're too strong. And I've no doubt this got into players and teams' minds. This time around, Rassie has looked to reinvent this. So he's gone with the 7-1 split. And I believe this is more for a psychological advantage than a tactical one. Look at the media now this week. Everyone is talking about it. That's all they're talking about. Although Andy Farrell has dismissed it, and he has also not got involved by putting in extra forwards into his team. Ireland are going with the 5-3 split.
Let me put in here. At the 49-minute mark, 6 South African forwards walked onto the field. Is that what the replacement laws for safety were designed for? And that is not any criticism of South Africa. It's not a criticism of Rassie. It's a criticism of World Rugby that allows that to happen. That is not what our game is designed for. The South Africans took full advantage of a loophole in the system, and that penalty try came from.
Well, why do you not like that at all, even though it's within the games? Why? Like, I know we've talked about this before in the past, but what is the biggest bugbear of having 6 forwards come onto the pitch?
Well, there's multiple things with it, Stu. Multiple things. It discriminates against backs. Our game is for all shapes and sizes. So in that game, you had 14 forwards in that game. That is not what our game was designed for. That's not what the ancients designed for it. It's not what we did in the 80s, 90s and 2000s. It is not a game for 14 forwards and 9 backs. It should be relatively even. It's never been 50-50 because, we have an 8 and 7. But that is not what it is. The other thing is the bench was a safety law. As I've said to you, one of my clubmates became a quadriplegic. The bench was a safety law. That is not safe, what they did. And maybe not at international level, but down the lower levels of the game. I won't stop saying this, Stu, because I passionately believe it. But that, and bringing replacements on at that time, just so close in the second half, that's not what it's about. Now, the whole replacement laws, they say, are going to be reviewed in November. And they need serious review because this is abusing what our game is meant to be. It's abusing our ethos, it's abusing our traditions, and it's abusing our safety laws. And it has to change. I have no criticism of South Africa or Rassie for doing it because it's legal. But you can see Ireland have gone to 6-2. Teams across the world are going to 7-1, 6-2. That is not what our game is meant to be. And the law has to be changed. Not the coaches. The coach's job is to win the game. The responsibility sits with World Rugby.
Rassie, what's your response to sort of certain pundits when you bring on the Bomb Squad at the same time, calling it dangerous?
We do hear things and we do see things, and I'm on social media. I read things, and and there's some things that you really take to heart, and some things that you try and understand. I try to stay in touch with South Africa and what our people feel and how our people react, and try to be honest to the media without giving too much away. And to be honest with you, I've learned that if you know the laws and you know the protocols and you don't go outside the protocols, where I've been slapped over my wrist for not doing that, and then learning and adapting, I really don't see how that would. For our reality is, listen, man, we could have sent it on one by one. But if all 6 go at the same time, I don't know if that's dangerous. I mean, Ireland definitely also play with 6-2. So I don't think the Irish team feel that way. I don't think Andy Farrell feel that way. I think that's one individual who said that. But I'm not even sure the Irish players would agree with that. They're too proud and they handle us well, and they still after that scored 2 great tries to make it a really tense game at the end. So, and the one injury was in the first half on scene and before the bomb squad was on. So, some things make sense when you see it and others don't.
Rassie, do you know Matt Williams personally? Matt Williams, the guy who's...
No, I know I know he's coached, where he coached, and his coaching record and things and like that, but I don't know him as a person. So no.
You might have crossed you with
No, I don't know him. No.
100%. I honestly believe that they should see it that way, because if we're strengthening here, we know that's where they're strong, and we want to take that, and go on that. So we make plans on who we play. Our game plan doesn't change, but we know on personnel, okay, see how maybe only lasts us 20 minutes. We need to put this guy in. That's how we do that. And it's not to... We're not thinking, no, we want to have less backs or anything like that. It's just about what the team needs on a specific day and the way you want to play on the day. And you're right, it is a compliment on whoever we're playing against.
And Kate, just to follow up on that question, Ireland did use the 6-2 split also during the Six Nations. And I think for them, on a day like Sia is saying that whatever that works for you, do you understand? As long as it's within the rules of the game. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and it's in a good spirit of the game. And people in South Africa, they enjoy watching our bomb squad coming in, and if it works for us, we're not going to change it. And on a day, if we decide to go to 7-1, we'll go to that 7-1. If on a day we feel like, okay, 5-3 split is what we need on a day, because if you look at the challenges we've got now in the game, our backline players, probably they run a lot of meters around the game now, so there's going to be time somehow, where we're going to go back to our normal 5-3 split. But like Sia is saying, that what works for us on a day, and you look at it, what the team offers, and so once again, when it comes to the spirit of the game, I think if you want to look at a positive spirit of the game, look at the South Africans. That's how we play the game. We played in a good spirit, and there's one thing that I know between us and the Irish team. There's a good respect between the two teams. I'm talking about coaching staff, I'm talking about the players, the amount of respect we've got for one another. So I don't want us to, the other noise around, to get in between the spirit of the game. That's one thing that I respect about how we operate. We've got massive respect for the Irish team. They've used the 6-2 split during Six Nations. So I see nothing wrong with that. If it works for them, happy days.
It happens so much that we don't care. Like, why should we care? If there's a rule book, and none of the stuff that we do breaks any of the rules, and we do what works for us. But if it doesn't work for everybody else, then you will never hear us commenting about other people's tactics, because the focus is on us. What works for this team? What gets the team going? What do we need on Saturday? And it always goes on teams who we're playing. So we know this team. Okay, we need this kind of team, and the coaches explain to us. So we don't know why people always have something to say about what we do, but we never say anything about them. But it's fine with us. They can keep talking. We'll just keep on focusing on what we do, and if it doesn't work, then we can change it. But we don't sit and
Yeah, I think the law's very clear you can do it. I don't think that makes it dangerous. I think it makes it dangerous when players don't level change, drop their height into contact. I think it makes it dangerous when players take risk in the air and don't respect the other players up in the air. I don't think the bomb squad or the 6-2 split makes it dangerous. Ireland played with the 6-2 split 3 times in 6 Nations. So nobody talked about it then. So I think it's probably focused because it was effective. But at this point, safety of the game is determined by people who follow the shape of the game. The laws are made specifically to protect the heads, protect players in the air. At scrum time, if you go pre-engage, it puts a lot of stress on the next axial loading. So I think those are the things that make rugby dangerous, not a fresh pair of legs. And I've actually seen a piece written by Dr. Ross Tucker that says the risk of injury goes down when fresher players enter the pitch. So I don't think there's facts to prove that.